Oh, so excited to bring back today Nina Manolson. We're doing a part two from last episode. And the reason why we're doing this is because we had so much fun on our previous interview together that it's like we can't be done yet. So welcome back, Nina.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for having me back. Super fun.
Oh, so excited. I was saying that I feel like we kind of covered this nice, vast array of topics last time. And today I want to hone in on the fact that when you describe what you do to other individuals, this body peace coaching, you describe it in a way that, like, if people were coming in for couples counseling, that's what you do, but it's not with two people, it's with yourself and your own relationship with your body. And that's like where I want to keep this narrow focus today. You write beautiful poems, one called Did You Divorce Your Body, which I want to jumpstart with that. Have you read it for us and just open up this awesome conversation.
Yeah. So I want to say, actually, this was the first poem that I ever wrote about my relationship with my body and other women's relationships about their body. And partly I was very influenced. Both of my kids are slam poets. And at the stage that I wrote this, they were performing poetry all the time. And so it became sort of a language in our family. The language of poetry became sort of common parlance. And so when I started trying to express myself around some of these issues that I felt so passionate about, it came out as poetry. So yeah, the influence, right? We think we influence our kids, and our kids absolutely influence us. So this poem is called Did You Divorce Your Body? What I want to say to you, if you divorced your body somewhere along the way and don't know how to reconnect, I want to say I get it. I divorced my body early on. I was 9 when my body started to feel like it wasn't a safe place to be. I was 14 when I started to feel like I had to manage it and every morsel that entered. I was 16 when it became deeply confusing to be the shape of me. I was 18 when my body became the enemy. And by 19, my body was my full-time DIY project. I hear it every day from smart, amazing women. The moments they divorced their body, when it was unsafe for you to be in a woman's body, when the shape of you was criticized by your mother, your father, your gym teacher, and others, when the way to bond with friends was the next diet, when the way to be loved was thinness, when the illness, the injury, the hormone change made you feel like your body had betrayed you, when the number on the scale determined your worthiness. What I want to say to you, if you've divorced your body somewhere along the journey of your life, is you can find a relationship with her that works. You can learn to trust her again, and she can learn to trust you. You can divorce the inner diet police and the ruling skinny culture instead of divorcing yourself. You don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to manage your body. You have full permission to have a joyous relationship with your body. There's a way to reconnect to pleasure and joy in your own skin. I promise you can find a way back to being at home.
I have chills. Oh my goodness. Can you just keep going? All of your poems, you not only read them, but there's this presence. You could be on stage doing this, and oh, so good. All right, let's unpack it all now, okay? Because one of the first questions that you have in your journal is, how would you describe your relationship with your body? And I think when somebody first hears this, or even hears the whole like thought process of divorcing your body, it feels so simple. What's our relationship with our body? I don't think people can immediately answer that. A lot of people haven't dug there, built the insight there. Like, what is your experience, whether that's like with yourself, within your own family, or within your clients that you go, where's those spectrums, or the spectrum of understanding of how we feel about our own body?
Yeah. I think the first piece in there is we are having a relationship with our body, right? whether you go, oh, no, we don't actually. I'm living next door to my body, right? A lot of women I work with are like, oh yeah, I live next door to my body and I boss her around. She should go to the gym. She should go on a diet. I should do something about her, right? It's this otherness. And that is a divorced relationship, but it is a relationship nonetheless, right? Dieting our whole life, even if we say, okay, the only relationship I've had with my body is dieting. That's the relationship. Well, that is a relationship we have learned. We have learned how to be in body management from the diet culture. From 9 years old, Weight Watchers said, eat this, don't eat that. To me, I was like, oh, that's how you do being in a body? Okay, if those are the rules, this is how we navigate this being in this vehicle, right? That's a relationship too. Even if it's, my body, my butt, my thighs, I can't believe how I look. I should do something. Like that constant inner critic, that's a relationship too. So to simplify the word relationship, it's how literally do you relate to this being that you live in? Right. And some people are like, I don't care. No big deal. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I feel so much shame. Whatever that way is that you relate, that is a relationship. And the important bit here, and that's what sort of I unpack a little bit in this poem, is we can change that relationship. If it's not a relationship that's working for you, right? If it's a relationship that feels like this is no fun, like if this is a relationship with somebody else, I would not stick around. So if that's the experience, well, we can do something about that. Like this is just like, right? Okay, I'm in a marriage and I don't know, maybe it could work. I'm going to go, like you talked about, I'm going to go to therapy. Let's work it out. Let's see. Can we listen better? Can we speak to one another with more respect? Can we be more considerate of one another? Can we understand what the other person has been through, right? Those are all basic tools of how to build respect, trust, care, consideration in a relationship. That's exactly transferable to our relationship with our body. It doesn't have to feel oppressive. It doesn't have to feel shameful. It doesn't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't really show up fully being myself because I'm embarrassed about how I look.
I liked in your poem how you even went through your ages of like what you notice at each different age, because if we even say like, when and did you divorce from your body? I think a lot of people can go back to maybe that first diet that they tried, but you have so much insight on like how you felt at each different age. And when it got to that point where it was bad, like we need to take care of this. How do you walk your clients back through to help them kind of narrow down where it all started and the path it took?
Yeah. One of the questions I ask a lot were, what were the messages you got growing up? What did you hear around you, right? At different times. So in the poem, I talk about when I was 9, right? Already it started to feel like this wasn't a safe place to be. Well, what was I hearing when I was 9? Your body's not okay the way it is. And my mom took me to Weight Watchers, right? Oh, you're getting a little big. Now, getting big at 9 years old is actually completely age appropriate. From 9 to 13, girls are in this prepubescent puberty growing huge spurt. It is normal. It is important for girls to be bigger so that their bodies can navigate this huge hormonal shift into fertility. But no, oh, your body's changing. Let's stop that right now. Right? Already that's the message that I was getting. Your body's not safe. And then, so what were those messages? Some women that I talk to often say, I was in gym class and other girls were making fun of either their body or other people's bodies. You're either have developed breasts or you're flat chested or you've got a bigger body, right? The name calling that happens, right? So the milieu of being with other women suddenly became unsafe to be in a body. Or they went to families, to aunts, to uncles, to grandparents, and their bodies were criticized, or boundaries were crossed. Sexual boundaries were crossed. And then it becomes, oh, this really isn't a safe place to be, right? My body is a dangerous zone. I'm attracting too much attention. Let me shut this down. So when we start to go back and listen to our body story, this is really important to start hearing what is the story of our body. It's just like if you were to, again, we always come back to this metaphor of relationship because it is one. So if I meet somebody new, let's say I'm sitting on an airplane, right? I've got a long flight ahead of me and we're chatting and tell me, where are you from? Oh, really? What was that like? Oh, what was the vibe in that city when you were growing up, right? We want to hear somebody's story. It gives us insight into who they are, how they became that way. It's the same thing with our relationship with our body. When we start listening for our body story, what did my mother say? What did my mother say about her body? Right? Because we learn by watching. Oh, my mother's in the mirror and she's getting dressed and she's criticizing all the time and saying she should go on a diet. Oh, I guess you're not supposed to love your body at all. Okay, well then I'll learn from that and I'll absorb that relationship. Or was the part of the body story, I'm walking down the street with my dad and my dad goes, oh, look at that fat person. They're so lazy. Oh, is that what men think about women who live in larger bodies? Oh, well, then I better not have that body, right? And then into our body story, into the narrative of our body, into the memory of ourselves goes the shame of being in a large body. Because, well, the person I loved, my dad, just criticized that person and that person and that person, right? So it becomes part of the vocabulary, the narrative, the story that our body tells. So to explore, to unpack that relationship with our body, we want to go back and look at what is the story? What did she go through, right? For some people, they went through a period of being in a large body as a teenager. Well, that is really brutal in our culture because teenagers in large bodies get bullied. They get shamed, right? They get ignored or they get noticed and get a lot of painful negative attention. Well, that also becomes part of the wound. Oh, it's not okay for me to show up. It's not okay for me to be in this body. But if I change this body, right, let me do something and change this body, and then maybe I'll be liked. Well, and then that has its own whammy to it, right? So then I hear a lot of women saying, well, I was in a larger body, then I got small, then everybody liked me. And I was like, seriously, where were you when I was bigger? Mm-hmm. You don't value me at all. All you care about is how I look, right? So then again, can I trust this person? Can I trust this relationship? It gets nuanced and complicated. And that's the truth of our relationship with our body. It is complex and it's worth starting to open and unpack and look at the story, look at the messages so that they don't become default behavior, right? Where we look in the mirror and we criticize ourselves immediately, or someone says something nice and we don't believe them.
Isn't that real? How many times do you hear that where it's like, you can hear compliments, but to not be able to accept them, I guarantee our listeners are going, I do that.
Absolutely. People deflect the kindness or the perspective of someone else who is seeing truly your full beauty, because women often go, oh, no, I've gained weight, or, oh, no, I didn't sleep well. Oh, my hair is a mess. Oh, like, wait a second. what happened to being like, yes, I am a beautiful whole human, just as I am.
I want to highlight the word default that you used, because I really like that. And that we default to behaviors and our thought processes. When you are working with somebody, because this to me kind of feels like phase one, we have to build the insight before we can move forward and start working on it.
Yeah.
How do you start working on those default behaviors? And maybe almost like a case study or a specific example would be helpful.
Yeah. So it's interesting. There's a client I work with, and she has a really sharp, mean mirror voice, is what I call it. The criticism comes fast and furious. So she'll be like, I ate something and I felt disgusting. So I'm like, okay, first of all, let's just notice what is disgusting. That's a complete judgment. So I said, this just happened this past week. I said, wait a second. So what actually happened? Let's just go back. What actually happened? Because the default for her is I did a behavior. I had some unwanted eating behavior. And the default is I'm a bad person. I'm disgusting. I am lazy. I am full of shame. I just can't get this right. That's the default behavior, is self-blame. And we've unpacked, where did you hear those messages? She said, literally daily from her mother. I can't believe I ate that. I can't do this. I'm such a failure. Like literally those messages were drilled into her brain. So that is the default setting. Another way to think about the default setting, and I'll get back to how to work with that. But another way to think of it is it's a neural pathway, how our brain has hooked up a bunch of messages. So I eat, I feel badly about what I ate, and then whoosh, I'm all the way into I feel bad, I am wrong, into shame. So in the way that I think of neural pathways is like a luge run. It's like you just whoop from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill without thinking. In one split second, you're at the default behavior of I'm a bad person. So one, we want to just go, wait a second. Oh, that was a judgment. So wait, let's go back to what actually happened. I ate something. Okay, so I ate something. What surrounded that experience of eating? Let's unpack what actually happened. Let's look at what were the factors that contributed to the unwanted eating. Was I so tired and low blood sugar that I was just willing, like literally, if a cow had sat on my sofa, I would eat the cow. Like low blood sugar, I'm just starving. I can't make any choices because my biology is going to win. And that is true. If we're low blood sugar, we can do all the mental gymnastics, psychological gymnastics, biology will win. Our body will do whatever it takes to get our blood sugar back online. So is that the case? Or was it, wow, I've been working. I'm so tired and I'm hungry and I just have decision fatigue from work all day. I can't make a choice. So, the cookies were sitting on the counter. So that's what was there. Okay, so we've got some decision fatigue. How do we work with that? Or was it, wow, I was so stressed, came home, I was so angry about work and so worked up, and I was so uncomfortable that I was looking for a way to turn down the volume of my uncomfortable feelings. Okay, so is that what was going on? Let's look at the default behavior and then let's reel it back. It was something when I started working with myself around this that I would be like, and I was a compulsive overeater and a binge eater. I would binge and then I'd go down the route of, I feel bad. I can't believe I did it again. And when I really started working on it, I was like, wait, what happened? What was the perfect storm that happened that created this condition for me to need to binge, to lower my nervous system activation, to cope with my emotions? So like, what happened? Was it that day? Could have been maybe 2 days before, could have been 3 days before. Starting to unpack, where was I emotionally? What was happening? Because we're so good at just coping, surviving. Everybody, like right through COVID, like, oh yes, okay, we keep on going. We're going to keep on going. And then later we're like, oh my gosh, That was a lot. So it's so important. We want to stay emotionally current with ourselves. That's part of how do we have this very deliberate, conscious relationship with ourselves, our body, and our food, what's in front of us, staying present.
Yes, and I feel like I always ask this because I'm curious with different coaches. What is your favorite way to help bring clients' attention to being deliberate? Like, are you a big journaling fan? Do you like the voice memos? Like how do you like to guide them towards, because being insightful does not come natural for a lot of individuals. To your point of we're kind of pushed through fast pace, that whole slow down and really think about it for a minute is really difficult for a lot of people.
Totally. Because we're on automatic and we're get it done and we live in a productivity culture, we are rushed through all the sensations, all the feelings. What feelings, right? Often when you ask women what they're feeling, they can tell you much easier, what everybody else in the room is feeling before they tell you. Or sometimes you ask mothers, how are you? And they'll tell you how their kids are. They'll tell you how their husband is. How are you? Oh, me. How am I? Right? We don't key in because we're so attuned outside of ourselves. So tuning in is very individual. Some people are journalers. Some people are like reminder on the phone people. Like if we put reminders on their phone, they'll be like, oh yeah, how am I? One thing that I find that helps most people is whatever that thing is that helps them go, wait, me? Oh, here, now, wait, what's happening? Whatever that is that works for them, whether it's a breath, whether it's a question, whether it's a journal, whether it's a Post-it, whether it's a meditation, whatever it is, what works is, and this comes from a technology called Tiny Habits, is add it to something else. My favorite is, oh, you're going to the bathroom, you're going to pee. So you're there, you're peeing, you're washing your hands. What are you going to add to that moment? Is it a Post-it on the mirror? Is it, I'm going to take a breath while I'm sitting there peeing, right? Is it, while I wash my hands, I'm going to count to 10 and ask myself to add it to something. It's helpful when we come to the table. Oh, I'm going to eat. Oh, there's food. Oh, then let me breathe. Oh, that would be a good moment to breathe. Whatever that thing is, I have gone through stages of being a journaler, and then I've gone through stages I'm like, nah, not so much. And then I've gone through stages of being a meditator, and then stages, not so much. So we go through phases, and mostly I work with women who are over 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and we've lived a decade or two. We know something about ourselves. We know like, that doesn't work for me. Or, oh yeah, that really resonates for me. Right now, I'm leading a course. Instead of saying, okay, this is the practice for these next 3 days, this is the practice, I'm like, okay, we're exploring this theme. So now, what will you practice? What's your practice? Let's hear it. Because it needs to be ours. We're told so much. Do this, don't do this. This is the right way to meditate. This is the right way to eat. This is the right way to work out. This is like, really? No. Like everybody else, I am not your body teacher. You are your body teacher. So where is the wisdom? The wisdom is within. So it is important to go, wait, so would that work? I mean, I don't know. What feels right. Let's try it. Let's be in an experiment, an experience, an exploration, because then we can own it. It's not like, well, I tried that and that didn't work. Well, that is outside of you. That's not a sustainable anything if it's outside of you. We want to own it because then it's ours, and then it becomes our habit, our practice, right? So I always talk about body peace being a practice. It's not a destination. Right? We practice body peace. We practice being in a relationship with our body. We practice being kind and saying nice things to ourselves.
Yes. I think you're so wonderful about pointing out seasons of life, phases of life, however people want to define that. and that to give ourselves grace and permission that we change. Our body changes during different seasons and phases. Our needs change. Our tools change. What has worked for us, what didn't. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, it might. To your point of whether that's journaling or putting a sticky note on the mirror, I picture through those like crazy seasons when you can barely take a breath in the day to find that 1 second, like washing your hands is perfect. You know, like my clients who are moms right now and have kids at all different phases. And then I'm like you, my community stretches from like 40s to 70s, that we have the retired age too. And those individuals have a little bit more time. Like you're allowed to use that time on yourself, but it's been so ingrained not to. It feels like too selfish or too self-indulgent to use that time. Then the guilt creeps in, and therefore then they don't do it.
Then they volunteer for something else.
Yes, they refill
Honestly,
it. Yeah,
it's one of the things that I do the most with people who are retired is go like, let's go through all the things you volunteer for. What can go? Because they just like, oh, well, I have this space. And because we are women and we are givers and we are contributors to the world, which is fantastic. And there has to be time for self. There has to be time for ourselves to replenish. Otherwise, we're just running on empty. And life is a doing instead of a being, right? We're human doings instead of human beings. We want to be in that place where we can stop and not be in stress and go all the time. There's something I don't know if it was a Steve Jobs quote I saw or something, but it was about how we don't want to be just living a life. We want to be building our life. We don't want to just be going through the motions. Like, what do you want to create? How do you want to experience this? And we don't want to experience it being at war with our body. We don't want to experience our whole life worrying about a calorie or a gram or an unwanted eating behavior or what size we're at. That's not the way to live life. We want to be like, oh yeah, this is a good place to be. I like this body. This is fun. I like this life. And from there, the giving comes effortlessly.
I so agree. Oh, okay. On a totally different note, a light note, I promised my listeners that we would ask you your journey into your beautiful gray hair, because I feel like this is another thing about loving our bodies. It's like the fight of that gentle aging process, and kind of take us through your journey of when you're like, I'm doing it. I'm going gray, how you did it, all of it.
I'll tell you, I had a great role model, and that was my own mom. So my mom was gray very early in her 30s, and I did not go gray that early, but she always had this amazing white hair. And there was a few times in the course of my lifetime that she would try to dye it, and we would all be, I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and we'd all be like, oh gosh, no, like, no, so there was a model of what it looks like to be active and vibrant. My mom's a cyclist and have this incredible white hair. So when I started to go gray, I could be a total hypocrite and now start trying to completely dye my hair, or I could go the journey of my mom. And it was very interesting to watch. Because I was used to this very long, lots of long, dark hair. Yeah. And there's an image change that we go through when we're owning, because owning silver hair is owning an aging process. That's the reality. And to say, yeah, this is me at this age. This is me shifting into a different life stage. Does it mean that suddenly I have to be less active or less engaged in life or have less of a voice in the world? Not at all. But does it mean that my image of myself, of who I am in the mirror, will change? Yes. And do I have moments where I look at old pictures with my like dark, long hair, and I do look younger. And I go, there's a part of me that's like, oh, that was fun. And then I'm like, yeah, it was. And I'm in a different place now. There's an owning, right? It's what I call being body current. There's an owning of where we are currently, not where we wish we were, not where we think we will be or should be, but this is where I'm at. This is my journey. And there is a sense of okayness with aging. I have a very passionate dislike for the anti-aging movement, right? Everything is anti-aging. We are aging. Everybody is aging. And so what does it mean to have silver hair for you, right? If, oh my gosh, silver hair means I'm getting like, I'm crumbling and falling apart at the seams, well, then it's going to be hard to own that in a way that feels the way you want to feel. Mm-hmm. If having silver hair for me looks more like, my mom getting on a bike and biking around the world, and I'm like, okay, and now your hair is silver doing that. Congratulations to you. And does it mean that people might assume that I'm older, right? I have this wonderful friend, she's blonde. And if we're next to each other and we're similar age, she definitely looks younger. Are people going to think I'm older? Yeah. I'm like, now, is that a problem for me? Like, I watched myself once when we were together. I was like, oh, people are going to think there's a big age difference. And I was like, okay. And if they do, what does that mean to be older? Am I wiser? Yeah. Have I lived longer? Yeah. Do I have more experience? Yeah. Right? Have I been doing this work for a long, long time? Yeah. Like, there's some owning our experience, owning our own power, owning our own lived life, which is so important. And if it makes you super happy to keep dyeing hair into, when you're 90, more power to you. Like, there's no judgment. Like, it's not like everybody has to, like, we're thankfully living in an era where your hair can be blue and purple and rainbow and a million colors. So if you want to go silver, go silver. If you don't. But to be feeling ashamed of your own aging process, that's the place we want to work with.
You are so good about the eyes on your own paper aspect of life, but also very real in that you can still say all the things that come into other people's heads too, like the whole, oh my gosh, I did look so much younger in that moment. And should I go back to it? Like, you're good at taking a thought, acknowledging it, and then accepting it or dismissing it. And I think if we could all get to that same place, and it's not to ignore the thought, and it's not that we don't need to over glamorize it or whatever, it's acknowledge it. You had mentioned this in our previous episode about doing that even with society and weight loss and diets, because to be in a more wholesome non-diet phase, it's not that something doesn't bling up on social media every once in a while and we go, well, of course that looks tempting to lose 20 pounds in 20 days. Of course I see it. I'm not immune to it. Right. I just can take it, assess it, and disperse it how it needs to be. So I just appreciate you consistently saying that, because I think that it's really easy to feel like, well, it's easy for you. It's not easy for you. You get the same messaging that everybody else does. It's just you're making a conscious effort on how to view it, talk about it, look at it.
One of the ways that I think about it is that, and I say this a lot, is put a sticker on it. Oh, look, there's a diet ad. Oh, that's a diet ad. Oh, that's diet culture. Oh my gosh, I can't believe my butt. Oh, put a sticker on it. That's a negative thought. Oh, like, look at her with her long, red, fabulous hair. Oh, should I have kept my long, luscious, dark hair? Oh, comparison. Let's put a sticker on that, right? Put a sticker on it, name it, state it, because even if you don't know what the heck to do with it, name it, because what we do in our head is go, well, that's uncomfortable, and we skip over. But that uncomfortable comes up and bites us in the butt and takes us down, and we're like suddenly having unwanted eating or negative thoughts because we didn't go, oh, there's a thought and there's a feeling with that thought too. right? Oh, I got into comparison and I made myself feel bad. I went into shame, right?
Yeah.
Oh, diet culture, there it is. And then I had a thought about diet culture and then I went into, oh, I'm not okay, right? So naming the feelings, naming the thoughts so that we can start to learn what to do with those instead of having them impact us and feeling like we have no agency.
Right. Loving the sticker thought. And I love that you said we don't have to know what to do with it, because that would have been the next question out of my mouth. Like, okay, we named it. We'll get around to what to do with it. But right now, it's back to insight and understanding. Yeah.
It has to, right. It has to start with awareness. It has to start with awareness. And it's helpful to have support to then unpack it, to go, well, what happened there? What was the thinking? Were the thoughts? And where did those thoughts go? What did you do with it? What did you do with those feelings? Did you bury those feelings? Did you eat those feelings? Did you shop those feelings?
Yes. Yes. Oh, Nina, you're fabulous. I just want to remind our listeners today that it's ninamanolson.com, and that will be in the show notes, and that you have this beautiful journal that you can pull up, and you can even, I don't know how you did this. I need to learn from you. It's a PDF where you can actually write in it online if you want, or you can print it off. And I'm kind of still old school. I like to sit and journal with my coffee in the morning. So that's all waiting for you from Nina. And now that we've done 2 episodes, I'm sad to say we're probably wrapping up for a little bit. Any last minute thoughts or anything you want to shout out to our community today?
First of all, Lindsay, thank you. It's a total honor. And the other is 2 things. If you're struggling with food and body, it doesn't have to stay that way. And it helps to get help.
Yes. And you are looking at 2 coaches right now. Our listeners, you hear us talk about coaches all the time and the impact that they can have. If you have never tried a coach, what is holding you back? What is your barrier? Because unless you experience it, you won't know. And my guess is, Nina, you probably have your own coach, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like for all different areas. If I'm stuck, I'm like, I don't want to stay stuck myself. I want help. I want help to be able to shift this stuff.
Yes. Oh, so good. Thank you. Thank you. Have such a blessed day.
Thank you. You too.